Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from everyone's favorite Halo YouTuber. I'm Rehab, your favorite Halo YouTuber, and today I'm going to give you some BR tips to help you improve your aim in Halo Infinite. Now you guys really enjoyed the first video. I gave you 5 tips, and today I want to give you just a couple more that might help you win some more 1v1s and just help you improve in Halo Infinite. So let's jump into training mode and talk about it. Alright guys, so we're in training mode on Aquarius, and I want to just say that this video was really prompted by a video made by Snakebite. If none of you know who Snakebite is, he's actually a professional Halo player. They won 2 of the 3 Halo 5 World Championships. One of the best players in the world, one of the best players of all time. So obviously, he knows what he's doing. But he made a video talking about losing aim assist in Halo Infinite. I'm going to link that down in the description below. But basically, he just talks about how there's something funky with the game where you actually lose aim assist, 1 when you're jumping, and 2 when you pop the enemy shield. So I'll let you guys watch that video, but the gist of it is basically that you kind of lose aim assist when you jump, right? I kind of mentioned that in my first tip video, kind of how once you jump, you're kind of just free tracking with your right stick, which is pretty difficult with a controller. So you really want the aim assist to do the work, right? That's why I really harp on left stick aiming and doing slight adjustments with the right stick. When you're jumping, obviously, you have to track them solely with your right stick, which makes it a lot more difficult to consistently hit your shots. But Snakebite's saying that basically there's a chance that you lose aim assist when you're jumping. I've never been like, wow, I definitely had no aim assist. I've had situations where I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this so hard? Why is this so difficult? And I mean, maybe it is because I'm losing aim assist. There's no confirmation that you like absolutely lose aim assist. I don't think there's any way you could possibly measure that. But in practice, I mean, you can definitely feel you losing aim assist when jumping. So like I said in the first video, you want to avoid jumping as much as possible in your fights. Also, what he says is that you lose aim assist a little bit when you crack their shields. I don't know if it's confirmed for this game, but 343 did mention that in the beta, you have less aim assist on one-shot enemies. Now, I don't know why they did that. Is it supposed to, like, help newer people survive? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me why you would do that. Because the newer players are the ones that are going to have a harder time aiming, and they're going to have a harder time finishing off the one-shot. Wouldn't that really just favor better players? But then, like, why not just have consistent aim assist throughout the entire shield? Like, I don't understand. But basically, it was definitely a thing in the beta. I'm assuming it is still in this game, because Snakebite says it is, and I believe everything he has to say. I trust his opinion. And basically, they kind of compound, right? Like, you lose a little aim assist when you jump. You lose a little aim assist when they're one-shot. So when they're one-shot and you jump, then you really feel it, right? I mean, there's always times where there's a guy one-shot and you're kind of mid-fight, and you jump and you just can't seem to get on target. That's pretty much just because you're losing aim assist with the cracked shields and also with jumping. So the tip is, obviously, stay on your feet. Don't jump. I already gave that in the last video, but this kind of just reinforces that statement. It's so important not to jump. Jumping from all the way back in Halo 3 to Halo Reach, like, it's a bad habit that I've really just solidified over the last, I don't know, 15 years of playing Halo. So you really want to avoid jumping at all costs. Now, what Snakebite does offer is something that I want to pass on to you guys, is that instead of jumping, throw in a crouch strafe. Crouch strafing is very difficult to track because, like I said, horizontal movement is a lot easier than vertical movement. It's just less clunky. I don't know if it's like a sensitivity scaling thing. Maybe you'd want like a higher sensitivity vertically than horizontally. I have mine both at. I have both my sensitivities at 3, so I don't really change that. I don't like messing with that stuff. But vertically tracking someone is a lot more difficult than horizontally tracking someone. I don't know why, it's just a feel thing. At least in my opinion, maybe you feel differently. But basically, instead of jumping, throwing in a crouch strafe is really going to throw off enemies, because instead of like them having the reticle at the right height and kind of tracking you side to side, then they have to vertically adjust down. And that tends to throw people off. Like there's times where I'm just one shot. I'll just throw in a crouch and run back and forth, and maybe the enemy is full shield and I'm one shot, and I'm still able to kill him sometimes. Really throw in the reversal because they're just strafing, shooting over my head instead of aiming down. I do tend to find myself throwing myself off when I'm crouch strafing sometimes. If I'm really trying to do it to them, right? And I'm like throwing in crouches in like a close quarters fight. I mean, as hard as it is for them to get on target, it's just as hard for me to get on target sometimes if I'm really throwing a little wiggle in there, you know? When I'm like up close and I'm really trying to like throw in a strafe, I'm so focused on my strafe sometimes that I'm not really focusing on actually hitting the enemy player. But if you can really just zone in and focus on what you're doing, throwing in a crouch strafe is going to be really beneficial. So what I've been trying to do personally is just anytime that I have an inkling to jump, I want to just crouch. It's easier said than done. It's a really bad habit, like I said, that I've just accumulated over however many years. But instead of ever jumping, just hit him with the crouch. So I understand if anyone's watching this like, oh man, I just can't stop jumping. It's really just like a bad habit. It's like a panic move. So I'm really trying to get rid of jumping and kind of turn my panic moving into just throwing in a crouch strafe. This is something new that I've been working on, but I'm definitely finding that it's a lot more helpful. See there, I was just like kind of strafing so hard that I was just not focused on actually where I'm shooting. You get into these situations where your sole focus is just pulling the trigger as fast as possible and not actually aiming at the person. I find myself doing that a lot, where I'm just like, yeah, pulling the trigger, right? And I'm like missing, and it's like, make sure you're on target before you're pulling the trigger. It's something that I do when I'm in stressful situations in the map and stuff, but I'm trying to work on it, so that's what we're all here for, trying to improve. So just to recap, you lose aim assist when you jump, you lose aim assist when you pop other people's shields. So you really want to avoid jumping as much as possible. Usually the reason you jump is to throw off opponents vertically, since they have to go up instead of just aiming side to side. But I urge you to change that into making them have to go down. And if someone crouch strafes on you, obviously, you know, maybe you might have trouble like pulling your aimer down. If you just crouch, then you're bringing your aimer down onto the same level as them. So it's always a good alternative to someone that's throwing a crouch strafe at you. If you crouch back at them, then you know what? You're basically on the same playing field as you were when you were both standing up. So something to think about. That's something that I tend to do. I like to try and just mirror my opponent's movements, especially if I'm up in the fight. If I'm in a spot where I should win the fight, I'm mirroring what the person does. If they jump, that's usually when I jump. If they're crouching, I'm definitely throwing in a crouch just to kind of even it out. Because if someone crouches, they have to swipe up onto your head. If you crouch, then they're going to swipe right over you. So, you know, it's just a little mind game, really, the 1v1s. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. Just a few tips to help you guys out in your 1v1s and your BR fights, and just helping you hit more shots, winning more battles, and just improving overall. I do urge you to watch Snakebite's video. It's a very short, like 2-3 minute video. He's a lot more precise than me, and learn from one of the best to ever do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Share it with a friend maybe. Consider subscribing for some more Halo content. I upload every single day, so hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on that. I also stream over on twitch.tv/rehabsforquitters every single day if you want to interact with me in real time. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Later.